let's talk a little bit about that painting to music thing, because I know that you're not the first person to paint to music, and I'm sort of intrigued by the idea that people find kind of inspiration in the music, and does it influence what you paint?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because I paint to really fast rock and roll, basically. And not always. Sometimes I'll paint to Asian flute music. My wife is a Tai Chi instructor.
Oh, okay.
And so she's got all this cool Asian music that I like to paint to too. But mostly, especially when I'm painting with two hands, which is about 90% of the time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Are you familiar with?
Yes.
Yeah. Led Zeppelin and Creedence Clearwater and Heart and Joan Jett and it goes on and on. The Ramones.
Okay.
Music like that that's really has an upbeat tempo. I really enjoy painting too. And I find myself oftentimes I'll be painting here and people will come up and they'll go. I would never forget the first time this happened. I'm painting away over here and Larry's playing his guitar and somebody came up to me and said, you're painting in time to the music, right? And I don't have any real music ability, so I was just really kind of surprised by that.
But it's natural. I mean, it's a rhythm, and you fall into it.
Guess, and I wasn't literally, I was just painting and, just naturally. So then, after I heard that a few times, then I started kind of trying to get more and more lost into the music. And just, and then, the way I paint is, even if I am painting from a photo, I'm looking for opportunities. As I paint, I'm looking for opportunities that the paint will do something, and I'll see it, and then I'll just follow it.
I suppose when I know, like, for example, watercolor or silk painting or something like that, you can put a little bit of color down and it's going to just kind of spread and go, and you're, maybe not quite sure where it's going to wind up, but with acrylic, it pretty much stays where you put it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it dries incredibly fast, and which is a whole nother advantage to painting with two hands, because most people's problems with acrylics is they can't get them to blend.
Oh, I see.
When you paint with two hands, I can move the paint fast enough that I can get the blends real quick.
Like you have a paint hand and a muddling hand or something.
Sometimes, yeah. Or vice versa, you could switch. It's, and then I'll have when I paint outside, if I'm doing a show or something, I paint outside, I've got a squirt gun thing.
Oh, okay, to keep it a little bit wetter?
I'm not going to.
It's okay.
With this.
You can do that. That's okay.
And so I'll just.
Like vinegar water for the dog.
Oh, really? Do you do that?
No, I don't have a dog, but people do.
Really? Okay, so I don't have a dog either. But anyway, so that kind of keeps the canvas wet, and just like that show at Linfield, it got pretty warm in the paint, and I was doing a show there, which I did an hour-long show, and I sold the painting before the show was done, which was nice.
Well, good for you.
Yeah,
okay.
To Terry Peasley, who's a fairly well-known watercolor artist. And so, but I was just constantly spraying because the sun was right on it. So that's always a challenge.
But and that will work, just like a little bit of water spray down?
Because the problem is
hydrate it?
It dries too fast. And in direct sunlight, it really goes fast. So
now when you're working with acrylic, you don't wet the canvas down first?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, like if you're wanting to blend like a sky scene, and you're just going to do that atmospheric transition, where it starts out kind of white at the horizon, then goes darker and darker. That's usually done on a wet canvas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not necessarily by everybody, but a lot of people do it that way.
And you were talking about earlier that with a performance, your sort of performance art and maybe incorporating some travel into that. Yeah. So do you like follow festivals or anything like that around?
Yeah, it could be like, follow the Grateful Dead around or something. No, I don't, but that's a good idea.
Just something like that.
Thought of it yet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I thought about I just finished doing a charity event for the See You Later Foundation.
Oh, okay.
And I painted a rather large image of the 12th hole. I've got it. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
There's a print of it over there, and this was a nice big painting.
Were you doing it during the golf tournament
No, I was
itself?
doing a different one during that.
Okay.
So what I did there, because they had, their own little venue and stuff going on, so I plugged in my iPhone and and just kind of went kind of crazy. But yeah, just threw a lot of paint around.
Oh, that's fun though. It's
Yeah, it's wonderful.
it's a nice to have that flexibility, and I mean,
Yeah.
I think when you think of artists, oftentimes you think of somebody kind of alone in a studio, very focused, very intent,
Yeah,
and
tortured soul.
and here you are kind of out there, life of the party, painting and
Yeah, I'm
dancing
not a
around,
tortured
and
soul. I've already done that in my life. I don't want any more of that. No, yeah. Yeah, I enjoy, one of the things we were talking earlier about, when I paint, one of the reasons I'm not real plugged into the galleries is, for one thing, it does run up the price. And, and those galleries deserve it. 'Cause
Absolutely.
they have to make their living,
Sure.
and God bless them, they work awfully hard for it. But this is a recession, and that seems to have some staying power, and people need to be able to get a good value. And so that's part of it, and I need to feel in control. I enjoy, but I think even more than any of that, I really enjoy meeting new people. I'm always fascinated when I meet somebody new, and just it's amazing the people you can meet here at the market.
oh, I'm sure. Well, it's kind of interesting to me because many people would think that doing something like this, being at a public market every single week, all year round, it's kind of like an unending, the hell of the summer festival, only times 52. I mean, rather than doing it a few times a summer, you're essentially doing it all year round. But if you enjoy it,
I've never ever had not even 1 week where I felt like not coming. And usually I'm already, the market, it's over. I get up. It's my day on Saturday. I start painting here at 9 a.m. The market starts at 10 a.m. and goes till 3. But I usually get here close to 9 and I start painting. So I'm standing right here painting. And then, so I'll paint from 9 to 3. And then I go home and Liza makes me something to eat, or has made me something to eat, or whatever, take a nap, and then come back at 6 and paint standing up till 10. And by the end of the day, I'm just usually spent, but it's that kind of tired that there's something incredibly wonderful about being tired, by something you just absolutely love
oh,
doing.
sure, yeah.
And, I've met all these incredible people, and at the end of the day, I'm so exhausted, and I just hit the rack, and it just feels good. And then about Sunday, I start looking forward to next Saturday. So it's just like that.
Do you do a lot? Do you paint a lot during the week? I mean, or
Yeah, pretty much all the time.
okay, so
Yeah, I'm always working either on, when I'm awake, I'm either working on a composition on my computer, or I'm painting something just freestyle, or I'm working on a commission, or I'm doing social networking on Facebook, which has been pretty good to me too.
good.
And so I'm always encouraging, people say, do you have a website? And I always have to confess that yes, I have a website, but I'm not very good about updating it. Please see me on Facebook,
Right.
friend me. And so yeah, I've got about 600 friends on Facebook now, and it's a great place to also mingle with other artists.
Sure.
And so it's been a fantastic resource.
Yeah, I think the whole thing about, for many people, small business people, artists, the idea that you're going to have this website is fabulous, and everybody wants your website. But trying to keep up with it, it takes a lot of time. And I think the
I don't
Facebook
know.
thing is much quicker. It's kind of efficient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just don't. And basically, what do people do on your website? They go and look at pictures.
Right.
And there's actually not very much art that gets sold on the internet. It's surprising how much art is out there and how very little of it sells. And so.
Yeah.
I know I need to do it, but
No, I think It's true, because as an artist, I mean, people are connecting not only with your work, but also kind of with you. And no matter how good a photograph is, it's really hard to do justice. I mean, you can look at it
It
on.
never looks right.
No, you can look on the web
Yeah.
and say, "Wow, that's really beautiful," but
Yeah.
you don't really have a sense of what it's going to look like, sort of in your own home
Exactly.
or in your space. And you come to a place
Yeah.
and you see something hanging on a wall, and even
Yeah.
if the interior in here is nothing like what your own home would be, still you kind of have a sense of, you connect with it
Yeah.
at a different level, I think.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, if somebody comes in here and they go, oh, I think that'd look good in our living room or in your den or whatever. Do people still have dens?
I don't know.
But
I don't.
I'm not sure I know what a den is, but I heard.
I think it's like a man cave or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, if they say that, then I'll say, well, take it with you and try to see, and then bring it back. And I don't, people don't steal art. They
No.
just don't.
Well, not if they
And
know
if
you.
they did, so what? It's not
Yeah,
going to happen. most
exactly.
likely. And so I say, yeah, just take it home, or we'll say, and if it's not right, then, I'll come over and we can look at your colors and I can make some suggestions for you.
This is interesting because what I found is, and I used to have a business where people would come and say, oh, I really want that. That's going to be perfect in my space, or perfect on my door, or whatever.
Right.
And you say, do you realize how big it is in here? I mean, this
Yeah.
is a really big space.
Yeah.
And on a wall in your home, this is going to look huge. So you might want to go just
Exactly.
measure and see if that's going to work for you. And
Yeah,
if it does,
exactly.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes to judge the space of things. So. But yeah, and I think that your work is, it's really varied. I mean, you've got these sort of
Yeah.
really dark, moody, emotional, kind of evocative pieces, and I guess I was thinking maybe Spain, I don't know, and then you
That's
said
it. Yeah, it's in Quito. Yeah.
Ecuador. So, and then you've got the abstract pieces that are very colorful and interesting, but I mean, there's just a lot of variety in what you do.
Yeah, what's lacking, of course, is I don't have and I need to, in fact, I'll probably paint one today. I need a big landscape because that's a really meaty part of the market.
Oh yeah, landscapes,
So
of course.
I don't have that there. Yeah, I do a lot of different. I'll do landscapes, abstract landscapes and urban landscapes, and then the abstracts themselves are just just whatever comes about in my mind or not in my mind.
Well, I mean, if you are sort of painting with an eye, obviously, to the market, do you find that people are more interested in urban landscapes or more pastoral, rural type things?
Well, I think more rural. I think what people really, especially in this area, we're in a kind of an ag area and vineyards and wineries, and I think in this area probably the strongest painting would definitely be a landscape. And so then I think that, and then after that would probably be next in line after landscapes would be urban landscapes. And then down after that it's abstracts, and then beyond that still lifes, florals, and on down further.
So things kind of go in and out of fashion. I mean, at one point, florals and still lifes in certain places are probably
True,
very
yeah.
popular. So
Yeah, true. Yeah, depending on your geographical area.
yeah. Well, John, I really want to thank you for being a guest today. It's been wonderful to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you actually do some of the two-handed
Sure,
painting. So
sure, you bet.
that'll be next, I suppose. Okay.
You bet.
Good. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much.